bub, you listen to me.
Hold on to your butts, everyone. Today, we learn how to throw cards like Gambit. I basically already know that I'm going to be hurling these cards into walls and rocks and the floor, so I'm buying the cheapest cards that I can find. I picked these up at Wally World for $1 a piece because I'm a cheap bastard at heart, and I hope to God that these actually work. The first step here was idiot-proofing my apartment. I had a couple of old camping pads lying around, so if I'm going to be flinging cards at things as hard as I can, I figure I might as well minimize the damage. I started off with a simple card throw that I picked up when I was a kid. What I do is I pinch the corner of the card with my thumb and index finger. Then I'll whip out my hand and the card like I'm trying to whip someone with a towel. At the very end of that whipping motion, I'm letting go of the card so it can fly off and hopefully smack something in the face. Okay, so if we're going to be learning how to be Gambit, then we need someone to stand in for Wolverine. So, I mean, this cucumber and Hugh Jackman look pretty much the same. We're just going to run some dental floss through this thing, string it up, and then start throwing cards. I start throwing at the cucumber, and immediately I recognize that there is a problem. This technique is fine and dandy, as long as you just want to throw a card. And it's absolute garbage if you're trying to hit something on purpose. This cucumber is making a mockery of me and everything that I stand for. And now it needs to pay the ultimate price for having the audacity to exist. So I came here to weaponize little pieces of paper, and presumably you did too. So, if you and I are going to reach our goal of paper cutting a cucumber to death, then we should probably talk about this guy. Meet Rick Smith Jr. We're obviously going to be taking his technique. But Rick, if you're watching right now, I think I speak for all of us when I ask, how the f*** did your cameraman survive that? Quickly moving on, let's learn Rick's technique. The first thing you're going to need is your finger scissors. Use them to grab this corner of the card. Then roll up your entire hand. We're talking the fingers, the wrist, the elbows. Then whip your arm out, extend your fingers, and release the card in one smooth snapping motion. Hopefully this new technique is as good as it looks. I'm getting really tired of playing 52 card pickup. Welcome back to Skill Purgatory, where the suffering is endless and the cucumbers have learned they have no natural predators. Okay, not gonna lie. This took literal days. I had to unhook the cucumber and put it in my fridge so it didn't spoil overnight. The worst part is, I can tell I'm close. So one of the first things that I noticed is that the impact just sounds different. It's a thump rather than a light smack. You can even see the cards ricocheting off the wall. My biggest problem is that now I have the power, but my aim is still ass. That's when I noticed something odd. For demonstration purposes, and definitely not because I think it's funny, I'm gonna use another very phallic vegetable to show you what I'm talking about. For science. Okay, so my cards are turning midair. They start off flying flat, rotate sideways, and then they veer off to the left or the right. Now this is a problem because the cucumber isn't very girthy. At least not as girthy as it is tall. But if I can throw the card so it starts off vertical, it's going to turn and start flying flat by the time that it reaches the cucumber. Doing it this way, I think we can increase our odds of success. There's just more cucumber to hit that way. Probably. Maybe. I'm just grasping at straws here, okay? I've been at this for so long that my throwing arm is starting to hurt. I spend the next hour hucking cards at the wall using our new technique. At one point, I'm baseball pitching that bad boy because I'm annoyed and out for blood. No dice. But finally, something begins to click. I remember that this isn't that serious, and so I stop, ask myself why I'm in such a rush, and then just take my time, carefully lining up my shots, recalibrating my aim. And then, this happens. The shot finally lands, and I feel like a freaking Olympic athlete. And even though I know that I just made up all the rules, this is a game that I threw together. In that moment, it just feels like a huge win. And part of the reason for the stoke is just that I get to share this with a community that actually seems to care. So if you made it this far, thank you for being here. I think me and every other YouTuber appreciate people like you, the ones who watch things until the bitter end. And if you got something out of this video, consider liking, or subscribing, or leaving me a comment. It's always nice to hear from you. And this is the best online community I've found, by far. Till next time, peace. Subscribe!